How to navigate power struggles when you do gentle parenting. I have 8-year-old twins, and it could get tricky, especially because they're strong-willed. So if you have a strong-willed and you want to raise your children a lot more respectfully than the way you were raised, but power struggles is real, then this video is for you. I'm going to be doing my morning routine here and talking to you while I do my morning routine. So yesterday we came up north Arizona just to get out of the heat, and the twins were excited at the same time. They were a little nervous because it's hard when kids get out of their routine. It's hard for anyone when you get out of the routine. It could get tricky. So when it comes to power struggles, that's one thing that I look out for. Are there any changes in the routine? Are there any changes in the normal? Because usually when there are changes in the normal, then children start struggling with us a little bit more, just because they're nervous, just because they're not used to what's going on, because they want to be in control. Imagine how would you feel if you were not living in control of where you go, what you do, and that's what kids do. They're not in control of where they're going to spend the night, So we stopped at the gas station, and one of my twins, he wanted ice cream. I mean, we have our cat in the car. My husband stayed with our cat in the car. So we didn't have time to just sit down in McDonald's. We stopped at McDonald's and just eat the ice cream. We needed to go get the ice cream to the car. One idea is that they were going to get, ice cream in a cup, so to prevent any mess. But that's when things started to go downhill, because my son, he did not want ice cream in a cup. He wanted a cone, and I knew it was going to be a hot mess. We couldn't stay eating in the restaurant. We needed to go right away. Have you lived tricky situations like that? You can be accommodating, but there are some times that just cannot be. I mean, you have to move. Let's go. And they're kind of pushing it. So I told them, and this is one thing that I cut myself really quick, because I told them this. Hold on. We need to get it in a cup because I don't want any spills in the car. And then I cut myself, because when we tell our children, hey, this needs to be like that this way because I said so, then it's a recipe for disaster, especially if you have a strong-willed child. So right after I said that, of course, I had no, I want a cone. And then it wasn't like a tantrum. He's 8 years old, but he was kind of like, no, I want a cone. And then I was thinking, okay, Marcela, you're a parenting coach. By the way, you don't know me. Hello, my name is Marcela Collier. I'm a certified parenting coach, a founder of HIC Parenting Education Agency. And our mission is to help parents go from frustration, overwhelm, reactivity to a lot more peace in their parenting, so they can raise emotionally healthy children. So I'm a parenting coach, and then I kind of stopped myself in the tracks. And then I thought, okay, if I were one of my clients, what would I say? What would I do? Let me practice my own advice. And then I reflected, and I would go straight up to what's the need? What's the child's need? The parent. Is the parent regulated? Meaning, is the parent calm enough to talk to the child in a regulated, not upset tone? Because upset parents upset kids a lot more. Upset parents upset kids. That's just a given. If you deal with a lot of power struggles, then check yourself. Like, at those moments, are you raised up? Are you as frustrated and overwhelmed and fighting for control as much as your children are fighting for control? That's what keeps you in the loop of power struggles. So I checked with myself, and I noticed I was getting a little impatient because I was thinking that my husband was in the car waiting with our cat. So I needed to go to the car. So I felt a little rushed, a little impatient. And then I said, okay, if you were one of your clients, Marcela, what would you do? Or what would you advise? I would advise to have at least 10 seconds to recollect yourself and then think about what the child needs are. So that's what I did. I took a few deep breaths. I did my grounding work. This is something that I work with our coaching clients in HIC Parenting. Grounding work, which is basically grounding ourselves in the present. What is something that I can see, that I can hear, that I can touch? I'm safe. My children are just having a little hard time. This does not mean that I'm a bad parent or I don't parent right. They're just struggling with that boundary. So once I was a lot more regulated or calmer, that took about 10 seconds for me. I said, okay, what's the need? For sure is the need for freedom. Freedom is one of the 5 basic needs, according to Dr. William Glasser's research. He is a researcher in the topic of needs. And with our coaching clients, we study children's needs in depth because that's basically what sparks or starts all behavior. All behaviors communicate needs. So it's the need for freedom, which is the ability to feel that you can do something, that you're able to do something, that nothing is in the way, that you're not stopped or controlled. So I said, okay, he has this need, possibly the need for power as well. So the need for power is feeling skillful, feeling that you're able, feeling that you can do something. And then, okay, so he possibly has that need, kind of like, mom, let me show you that I will make a mess. Mom, let me show you that I can handle the cone and not the cup. I'm not a little kid anymore. So I said, Miguel, both of our needs can be met. Mom is concerned that the car is going to be dirty. And I know that you can handle a cone, but the car is going to be moving a lot. And how can we prevent spills? And then at that moment, he kind of stopped himself in his tracks and he was like thinking. And then I even saw him like looking up. And then he looked at me and then he said, I have an idea because I just want to eat the cone. And I was like, bingo, that's what he wanted. He didn't want to, because he was thinking, I want to eat the ice cream and the cone. And if I get an ice cream in a cup, I'm going to miss out on the cone. So when we get curious instead of furious, we are able to get through our children a lot easier. I'm talking about their needs, their feelings, what they're thinking. So that's what he was doing. I said, okay, I understood. You want to eat the ice cream in a cone. And I think my idea is good of having a cup so it doesn't spill everywhere. Can we meet both of our needs at the same time? And then he said, what about ice cream on a cone inside a cup? I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. So that's what we did. We ordered ice cream on a cone inside a cup. And that's how I solved power struggles. So if I were to kind of like put these on a framework, what would the framework be to navigate tricky situations that takes to power struggles in a way that we don't end up yelling, we don't end up warning with consequences and all those things that just escalate behavior a lot more. A lot of people tell me, but kids need to see there are consequences. I'm not saying I'm against consequences. I'm saying that when we use them and abuse them and warn our children with consequences left and right, number one, it loses the punch, it loses the effectiveness. Number two, it escalates the behavior. And number three, we don't use it as a teaching tool, but as a punishment tool. And we want to get out of punishments. And if you ask me, it's easier to troubleshoot with my son on how both of our needs can be met than powering myself over him, putting my desires over his desires, putting my needs over his needs, and just control him. What kind of teaching or what kind of lesson am I given him for life. That the one who has the authority, that the one who is a little more powerful, that the one who is bigger and stronger, then that's the person who gets their needs met. And when they feel powerful, when they feel stronger, when they feel over people, how are they going to behave with their little siblings, with weaker kids on the playground, with weaker kids at school? Not because I think they're weak, but weaker physically, possibly weaker emotionally or socially. So every action that I have with my sons, I'm very aware that they're learning something. They're taking something out of that interaction about what it means to relate to authority. And that's how I address the power struggles. I'm kind of like lost here. I don't know what to do with my hair. I think I'm gonna let it dry because I like my cute headbands, but I forgot to bring one. So I'm just gonna let it dry. Let me know in the comments. What is a common thing that you end up powerfully struggling with your child? And by the way, I don't do it perfect. Sometimes I do end up in power struggles, but a lot of the times I don't, because I have the tools to work on myself so my reactivity doesn't get the best of me. If you want to break free from reactivity so you can be grounded, connected, and assertive in these tricky moments with your kids, have a system that I taught 14,151 parents in HIC Parenting that has worked to bring peace to their parenting and raise emotionally healthy children. I explain in depth how you can do the same so you can bring peace to your parenting in my free class. All you have to do to access it is go to hicparenting.com, or I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Give us your name and email and access the class at no cost to you. So it's important to work on ourselves because that will allow us to be assertive with our kids. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to subscribe. It helped me grow our channel to get to more parents so they know that there is hope, that they can raise their children respectfully and with limits. We don't have to become permissive to be gentle parents. So subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and remember that it only takes understanding of yourself and of your children's needs to transform your parenting. Ciao.